second national race for APBA here in Sarasota. Not the intent. Going around the turn. And now we're going to pick up Team Chiropractic 26-foot Corsa powered by one 500 horsepower Merc Cruiser inboard with a Merc Cruiser Bravo drive. The driver is Jeff Barr, throttle Greg Lohman, and navigator Ed Gubala. They're from Naples, Florida. Sponsors include Lohman Chiropractic Life Center, Ronco Signs and Graphics, AC Chiropractic, Team Chiropractic Offices, and Seagull Boats, Naples Custom Trailer Hitches. Special thanks to Life University of Chiropractic, Dr. Sid and Nell Williams, founders and developers of Life University. Team Chiropractic was your 1996 APBA National Champion in A class. Also your Oprah Southeast Champions and Southeast Champions for 1996. Jeff Barr, Greg Lohman, and Ed Gubala. Team Chiropractic. F-106 Odie, a 27-foot Corsa powered by one 500 horsepower Mercury inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. The driver is Mark Marsh. Throttle Steve Miklos. Mark is from Jacksonville, Florida. Steve from Newport Richey, Florida. OT took a second place in St. Cloud earlier this year. F-106 Odie. The sponsors that make this team competitive include Odie Plumbing Supplies, Aero Sport, your complete source for aerobatic airplanes. Also PDS, Progressive Data Solutions, Quest Array Cigars, and Mastery Engine Center. Also special thanks to the mechanic Gary DeSoucies. Odie 27-foot Corsa. There's kinetic animation on the outside, top of the pack in S-Class. We've heard over the radio that Gone Bananas has flipped over, but we understand the crew is okay. Mark Rice, the driver, throttleman Brett Bostonberry are okay of Gone Bananas. You're watching the 1997 Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival here in Sarasota, Florida. F-106 Odie, 27-foot Corsa. Mark Marsh and Steve Miklos aboard, driver and throttle man. Factory class, a brand new class by the APBA this year only. Boats with 502 Merc Cruiser inboards are allowed in that class. Highly competitive. We've got 9 competitors today here in Sarasota. It's just great racing among these factory boats. You can see OT right now, F-106 OT. In just a few moments, we're going to go take a look at that onboard camera footage of Gone Bananas as that boat flipped over. But as we said, the crew is okay. All right, now let's take a look at that video. All right, now as you can see, we've got here Mark Rice and Brett Bostonberry aboard Gone Bananas with our onboard cameras. A 28-foot Douglas skater, powered by two 2.5 EFIs. They are moving along, hauling along here in the 5th lap of this race, the second national race for the APBA in this 1997 racing season. They are really cranking. We can hear those two 2.5 EFIs. Gone Bananas. These are the moments just before that flip. Well, there goes the boat up in the air and now beginning to flip. As you can see now, we are upside down underwater. And as you can see, our onboard camera continues to roll as we see that the boat is upside down. But once again, Brett Bostonberry and Mark Rice are okay. Let's see that one more time. Boat going up. As you can see now, going upside down and in the water. And Brett Bossenberry and Mark Rice were able to get out safely, and they are okay. And that, after all, is the important thing. Gone bananas, out of the race, flipping over in the 5th lap. Back to a helicopter shot. And now we see Dan Donzi, F166. Dan Donzi, powered by 1502 Merc Cruiser inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. Robert Capps is the driver. Throttleman is Anthony Clements. He's from Bradenton, Florida. Bob is from Sarasota. Dan Donzi. By the way, there will be a Donzi dealer meeting next week at the Hyatt here in Sarasota. Dealers from all over the country. Dan Donzi was 4th overall in the offshore APBA A-Class 1996 national points. Sponsors include Stainless Marine, Donzi Marine, Merc Cruiser, Showtime Performance out of Lago Vista, Texas. Dan Donzi, Robert Capps, and Tony Clements. Nice jump there by Dan Donzi. Nice throttling by Tony. Rocking and rolling here in Sarasota. Bumpy waters. Overcast skies, as you can see. You're watching the 1997 Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival, second national race for the APBA here in Sarasota. Week-long festival, many events and activities. Dan Donzi, F166. Another factory class boat, Chaos F116, a 24-foot active thunder, powered by 1502 Merc Cruiser inboard with the Merc Cruiser drive. The driver is Neville Moberly. Throttleman is Trent Walker. Chaos. This is their rookie season. Of course, Freeze Frame Video Productions welcomes the Chaos racing team to the world of offshore racing here in Sarasota, Florida. Brand new to the sport. A lot of factory boats in this competition today. We've got 9. We've got Not the Intent, Team Chiropractic, Stressed Out, Scott Free, Stress Management. Of course, we just saw Dan Donzi. We have Odie, Mastery Engine Center. 9 boats in all in Factory 1. Of course, all of them have to have a 502 Merc Cruiser inboard to compete in this class. Chaos, Neville Moberly, and Trent Walker. There they are. .24-foot active thunder, Chaos. In A-Class, Pure Energy, a 26-foot thoroughbred powered by 700 horsepower exact performance inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. The driver, Throttleman, is Clay Avedisian. Navigator is Terry Davidson. Pure Energy in A-Class. Pure Energy took a first place in St. Cloud, a 4th place in Fort Myers earlier this year. Terry always does a great job navigating, keeping Clay right on course, and they are right now here in Sarasota, Florida. Pure Energy, A26. Nice throttling there. Clay Avedisian from Anderson, South Carolina. 10 boats in a class in this event today. Shogun, Team Ballistic, Stainless Marine, Alehouse, Z-Car Motorsports, Performance Marine, No Limits, Renegade, and In Motion. But right now, it's Pure Energy, 826. Clay is also the owner of this 26-foot thoroughbred. Nice jump. In factory at Stress Management, 26-foot thoroughbred powered by one 502 Merc Cruiser inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. Driver is David Murphy. Throttleman Bob Callahan. Stress Management F112. Took a 4th place in St. Cloud, a 5th in Fort Myers earlier this year. Stress Management sponsors include R&W Distributors, Gulfwind Marine, Professional Screen Design, Lens Ignition, Bob Callahan Company General Contractors. Bob Callahan, the owner of this 26-foot thoroughbred, Stress Management. Bob Callahan and David Murphy. David the driver, Bob the throttle man. Both from Sarasota, Florida. A lot of fans here pulling for them in this race, in this second national race for the APBA. Stress Management Factory 1 class. These guys have been racing for a number of years, and they always are really very competitive, as they are here today. Host club here in Sarasota, the Suncoast Offshore Racing Association, has done a wonderful job putting on this event. This 13th annual Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival, and there now is Team Ballistic, A77. Team Ballistic, a 28-foot Cherokee powered by one 700-horsepower Blue Thunder Racing inboard with a Merc Cruiser drive. George Milne, the driver, throttleman Alva Hayes, navigator Fred Hayes. They're all from Miami, Florida. Team Ballistic. Sponsors include Adelphia Cable, also HBO. Adelphia Cable, by the way, in South Dade, Florida. And also Cherokee Powerboats in Miami. Currently in 2nd place in points for the APBA in the 1997 racing season. They took a 2nd place in Fort Myers, and they came in 3rd place last year in this race here at the Suncoast Offshore Grand Prix Festival. Team Ballistic, George Milne, Alva, and Fred Hayes. Nice job, 28-foot Cherokee. There's been a lot of hanging and banging all throughout this race because of the bumpy waters out here. You can see Adelphia is doing just fine. A 77 Adelphia Team Ballistic. We're going to go with some local boats now. Here we have L7 Cigarette, a 42-foot cigarette, powered by two 1,000 horsepower expert engine inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver, Debbie Schutz. Throttle is Elliot Fritsch and navigator Steve Lopez. Cigarette, L7. There's Scott Prix on the outside, going by Scott Prix. As we see Debbie Schutz, Elliot Fritsch, and Steve Lopez. Cigarette. Other boats in Cigarette's class include Wild Thing and My Pleasure. Scott Prix on the outside. 42-foot cigarette, L7. L69 More Toys 2, a 28-foot Baja powered by two 260 horsepower Mercury inboards with Merc Cruiser drives. The driver is Alex Gutierrez. He's from Sarasota. Navigator is Ron Rutzkis. He's also from Sarasota. More Toys 2, L69. Commercial endorsements include Beach Club and S&K Key. Alex Gutierrez, the owner of More Toys 2. These guys have been racing for 4 years. Alex Gutierrez and Ron Rutzkis. Local boys here from Sarasota. L6 My Pleasure, a 40-foot fountain powered by two Mercury inboards with Bravo drives. The driver, Brian Stewart, he's from Woodstock, Georgia. Navigator, Robert Angel from Marietta, Georgia. My Pleasure, L6. Brian Stewart from Woodstock, he is the owner of My Pleasure. Other boats in the class include Cigarette and Wild Thing. You're watching the local boats right now. We had 15 entered in this event. Great local class.